back to my channel. I'm Pages and Ash, and today we are going to be talking about some more young adult horror books that you should totally check out. So this video will have 7 books in total, and here we go. First one I'm going to recommend is Be Not Far From Me by Mindy McGinnis. And this book is more of a survival horror than it is like scary horror. But it's scary because it could be true. Like, this could happen, and that kind of freaks me out. So it is about a girl, and she lives in the Smoky Mountain area, and her friends and her are kind of up on the mountain or in the mountain area, and they are having a little party, a little campfire. And she finds her boyfriend cheating on her with one of her friends. So she gets mad, she runs off. But unfortunately, she kind of loses her footing, stumbles down like a ravine, and hits her head, and she wakes up. And she's totally disoriented, don't know where she is. And so it becomes a matter of survival to her. And she's wandering the woods, and stuff keeps happening to her. Like, she hurts her ankle and hurts a toe, stuff like that. And so it just becomes this survival horror. And it's like, will she make it out of these woods alive? It's a really, really good book. It's not too long. I think it's only like 200-300 pages. And it's just really like a eye-opening experience. It's like, oh my gosh, this could happen to me if I ever got lost in the woods. And woods are a dangerous thing, let me tell you. So really recommend this book. It's beautifully written, and it's just a journey. Next up, we have Into the Sublime by Kate A. Borman. This book is another survival-esque horror. It follows 4 teenagers who don't know each other, but they are all part of like a daredevil group on a website, and they all decided to take a trip out to this cave. This cave is said to host a witch, and it's also supposed to have a magical lake at the bottom that will grant you your deepest, darkest wish. So unfortunately, things don't go as planned. It starts to rain when they get there, making the journey down the cave more stressful and deadly. And then one of the characters goes missing, and that causes the rest of them to start pointing fingers at each other, and also to kind of descend into chaos, and they start having hallucinations and turning against each other. So it's very similar to The Descent in that way, but it does have its differences, and it was just a really enjoyable read. I really liked it. Next up, we have Horrid by Katrina Leno. This book follows a young girl and her mother, and they move across the country into a new house. It's a fresh start from all that they've experienced, but it takes them getting used to. The house is a little run down, so it's taking some fixing up. But our main character starts to see things in the house, and she slowly starts becoming affected by these things. They are plaguing both her nightmares and her waking moments. And it slowly almost starts to possess her. We see her losing track of time and acting differently than she normally would. And this book's kind of like both a psychological horror and an actual ghost horror story. It's a blast. It's a very mature YA book, and I really liked it. And I love that my version's the Owl Crate version because it has the red roses instead of the black roses, and I really think that makes the cover pop a bit. Next up, we have All These Bodies by Kendare Blake. This book is fantastic, and I really don't see it talked about that much, so I really wanted to give it some love in this video. It follows like a 1950s town, and it's very like a Mayberry town, you could say. It follows a young boy and his father, who is the sheriff. There have been some murders in the surrounding counties, and all the corpses have had their blood completely drained. So when the sheriff gets a call to this house, they find like 2 corpses and then just like a teenage girl covered in blood, and the corpses are drained of blood. So the girl is taken into custody, but the sheriff's son kind of gets a glimpse at her, and they kind of talk for a second. And she will only reveal her story, her secret, to the sheriff's son. She refuses to talk to anybody else. So we get to kind of see her story unfold through the sheriff's son, and he's kind of like perplexed and like, how could she do this? How could it be her? If you've seen Let the Right One In, this book's kind of similar to that. It's a new take kind of like on vampires a bit, and it's just a blast to read. Short book, and I will say it does have a bit of an open ending. I didn't mind it though. I do wish there was a little more answers, but I didn't mind it. I did like this book a lot. Next we have House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland, and this book is about 3 sisters. When they were young, they went missing and then suddenly reappeared a couple days later. So the media kind of went into a frenzy, and the girls kind of had a notoriety about them. Now, fast forward like a decade and a half, and they're on their way to almost adulthood. And one of the sisters goes missing again, and it's up to the other two sisters to hunt her down and find her. So this book is creepy. Like, I had some goosebumps reading this. There are some genuinely horrifying moments in this, and I really love that. Like, there's just one scene where they're in the house and something pops out, and whoo, I had to pause for a second. It gave me the jitters. So really great book, and I will say the ending is kind of crazy. Next up, we have Small Favors by Erin A. Craig, and this book is a blast. So it is kind of like a village-esque book. It's about a small, like, little village that, you know, doesn't have technology. They go by the old ways, harvest all their crops, beekeeping, all that. And it follows this one family, and monsters are starting to have sightings again. Like, the old ancestors have fought the monsters, and now the monsters are slowly starting to come back. And we see that somebody gets injured, and her father and mother try to take them somewhere, and then they lose contact. It's been like weeks and they haven't come back. So our teenage protagonist and her siblings all try to survive, and winter is coming. Cue Game of Thrones. Winter is coming, and like, their crops are dying, and so they have to fight to survive, and the town just kind of descends into chaos. It's also pitched as like the village meets Needful Things. So if you read Needful Things by Stephen King, you kind of know what I'm getting at. And I can definitely see, because this mysterious stranger pops up and starts offering people things. But like Rumpelstiltskin, magic always has a price, dearie. So, but this is a great book. I highly recommend it. I will say it is just a twinge long, but there are some really creepy moments, and I liked it, and it makes you feel isolated. The last young adult book I'm going to recommend today is The Mary Shelley Club by Goldie Moldavsky. And this book is about a teenager, and she went through a home invasion about a year ago, and you know, she had gotten attacked, and it really has left an imprint on her, some trauma. But she's in a new city now, new high school, and she's trying her best to fit in. She only has like one friend. But she uncovers a secret society, a secret club of these horror movie aficionados. And she decides to join them. So she has to, you know, go through an initiation process and everything. And so this club, that what they like to do is they love to watch horror movies, and they also like to stage elaborate pranks, but they don't like to call it pranks. It's like fear tests or something. And the goal of their fear test is to scare somebody. Like, anybody, like, each one gets their own person to pick to scare. And the goal of the scare is to make the person scream. So we see that they start doing these fear tests, but what happens is people start dying. Like, the people that they're doing the fear test to, they start dying. Somebody is murdering them. Is it somebody in the club? Is it somebody outside the club? Could it be the people who invaded her home a year ago? ... I'll leave you to find out. But this book's really great. I really loved all the horror movie references, and it was just very meta. So this is a great, enjoyable read, perfect for spooky season. I will say it's just a twinge long. I think it's like 470 pages, but I still liked it. I really enjoyed it, and I think I gave this one like 4 stars. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found some more books to check out. Leave a comment down below if you know of some more young adult horror books that I should check out. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, any of the above. Be awesome, and I'd really appreciate it. And also, don't forget to come follow me on Instagram. I give lots of recommendations of all sorts of spooky books and other books sometimes on my page. And it is at pages_and_ash. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I love you guys, and creep it real.